Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snurdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna make magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie she moving way, we like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snurdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snurdy, ooh. Black and Snurdy, yeah. Black and Snurdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snurdy Podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together to shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned nerds here on episode 142 of the Black and Snurdy Podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes.
I'm kind of rested, which is great.
Mhm.
I'm off of school this week,
Yes.
so I have a week to catch up on some much needed rest
Mm-hmm.
because I've been really exhausted. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like after, like, you'll have a break and you'll feel kind of rejuvenated, and then like the last week, I was having such a difficult time like getting out of bed
Mm-hmm.
on time because I feel like so exhausted, and it's like you come home and you're exhausted and you're doing the same thing over and over again. And people don't realize, like, I feel like when people say like they're teaching, people don't think that it's something that's very taxing on you,
Right.
but it is. It's like, because it's not like you're not dealing with adults, so you're having to really, like, all that energy that goes into managing yourself as well as managing these little humans.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. So it's like coming home, I feel like even though I should have all this like energy to do things, I'm extremely tired most
Sure.
days.
Sounds like that Black Mirror episode that we just got finished watching. Where
Right.
sleep for a long ass time,
Yes,
but
and
would
every day
be
you
still
need more and
tired.
more sleep.
Yeah, because like they're farming her brain
Freaking ads coming out of like
out of nowhere, just
It's
honey
true.
nugs.
Yes, that is exactly how I feel a lot of times.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Pretty good for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit annoyed with myself just because this is we're doing this again.
It's take 2. We had
This
some
is
technical difficulties.
Yes, we had technical difficulties. It's literally a minor issue that I should have troubleshooted yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I even remember that I was in the audio section adjusting the settings, but I overlooked one of the settings,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, now we're back doing it again.
But you know what? I feel like that's fine because I feel like whenever we've had
Can't blame this on Mercury being retrograde.
No,
this
Mercury
is
is
all on
the
me.
planets are currently direct
Mhm.
until May 4th. So do with that information as you with what you will.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. But I think that, it's not, I don't have a problem doing it over again. I feel like whenever we've had an issue or we've had to redo the episode,
Mhm.
it ends up being better than the first
Than the
one.
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
More streamlined, I guess, than the first time.
for sure.
Yeah,
for
sure. All right. How about we take things down a little bit? And with that, let us move into our RIP section right now.
All right. So we've lost several people in the last few weeks. The first person that we are saying RIP to is the iconic actor Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
Val Kilmer, I mean, he has been like an A-lister throughout our lifetime. He had huge roles like Top Gun. He was in Batman Forever.
Right.
He played Jim Morrison in The Doors, which
Mhm.
was a really great docu or biopic.
Now he's breaking on through to the other side.
He's on the other side, watching over, looking at all the recreations that people are going to make of his movies.
Mhm.
He passed away on April 1st, 2025, which is a weird day when someone passes
Because you assume that it's a hoax.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
remember, like, back when we were younger, like, and Twitter was just young,
Yeah.
and it was just a wild, wild west of, like, celebrity death hoaxes.
And they would always, and they would come up, especially on April 1st. Even this year, someone made up one that Dennis Rodman had passed,
Mhm.
and I was like, thank goodness it was just.
I don't know how many times Jackie Chan has died.
I mean, it happens all the time, but unfortunately, this one was true. He passed away at 65 years young, because 65 is still very young.
Yes, it is.
From pneumonia and complications from throat cancer. I remember recently, in the last few years, he actually did a movie, or I guess a documentary about his life now, because a few years ago he had really stepped back away from acting, and then it came out that he had throat cancer. It had impacted his speech.
Yeah.
He had been diagnosed in 2014.
Yes.
And so I believe he had to have a tracheotomy of some sort, because he had one of those like
robot
voice
things,
synthesizers.
yeah, that smokers used to get.
Yeah, and so he did return to and for the Top Gun
Maverick.
Yeah. They had an AI recreated voice of his. I'm not really sure how that works, but it allowed for him to be in the movie. And he is survived by his two children. So thank you for bringing so much to the movie and television role. If you go on his IMDb, he has so many roles across all different genres. So we just thank you. And you know what? I don't care what anyone says. I loved you in Batman Forever.
I always say that he was a really good Bruce Wayne. Because he played Bruce Wayne the way that the Batman the Animated Series Bruce Wayne was portrayed as, like a playboy philanthropist who is like clued in to Wayne Industries. All the other ones have him dark and have Bruce Wayne dark and brooding, which is ridiculous, because Batman is the dark and brooding. Bruce Wayne is the mask that Batman wears, and it's an alter. It just clearly, if you if you thought about it, you'd be like, oh, that dark and brooding millionaire is probably Batman, because he's also dark and brooding.
Yeah.
No, like, he plays him as, like, kind of like jovial and gad about town. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for all you gave to cinema. The next one, a very sad situation. This happened this week. There was a helicopter crash over the Hudson, and 6 people passed away, including the pilot. The family was Agustin Escobar, who is the president and CEO of Siemens Spain. Siemens is, they make the phones, they're a technology company.
Sure.
He was also the CEO of Siemens Mobility Southwest Europe. He was 49 years old. His wife, Merce Campubi Montal, who was an executive at Siemens Energy. And the granddaughter of Agustin Montal Costa, who was the former president of FC Barcelona, which is a huge football team in Spain, in Europe. They're a very, very notable team. And their 3 children aged 4, 8, and 11, which just makes it even more of a tragedy. And the pilot's name was Sean Johnson, and you could see in the picture there's one of their sons in the pilot's chair next to Sean. And they had been just having a great time. They had came to New York from Barcelona that day and had booked a sightseeing tour to celebrate their child's birthday. The helicopter was operated by the New York Helicopter Charter Incorporated, and it had been on its 8th flight of the day when it broke apart mid-air and crashed into the river. They're saying that the aircraft lacked flight data or cockpit voice recorders, which is causing a little bit of a complication within the investigation. But there were reports that the pilot had called and said that there was issues with the fuel. So the National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation. They're focusing on potential mechanical failures, including a possible issue with something called the Jesus nut, which is a critical component that secures the rotor system. And this is just, again, raised issues that people have had over the safety of the sightseeing helicopter tours in New York City.
Yeah.
This is not I feel like last year or in recent years that have been other helicopters that have crashed.
The only one
people's passings in New York City with the helicopters, because I remember seeing like one was a man and his wife. These things, unfortunately, they may not happen constantly, like enough where you could like, oh, this happens once a year.
Yeah.
But enough where people are like,
enough that it's alarming.
Yeah.
Yeah. The famous one that I can remember, of course, is the one that took Kobe Bryant and his daughter.
Yes.
And several other people.
The other children from her high school basketball team and some of the parents and friends. I mean, it's something that doesn't necessarily happen often, but obviously, like it's a huge impact not only on the communities where it happens, but those people's families. So I mean, like helicopter tours are fun. I'm sure I've never been on one, but I can imagine it feels cool to ride around the city and you're seeing such a big city like New York City from above. Like even when I'm flying over in a plane and looking down, it's like, oh wow, look at the city. But we need to be making sure that they're taking as many measures as needed, as many regulations that are needed to make sure it's safe, because like this impacted, it fell into the ocean or into the river. So not any other people were hurt, but like, can you imagine if this had just been over 42nd Street,
Sure.
Like, this is something that we definitely need to have as many regulations and overseeing safety as possible to make sure these sort of tragedies don't happen, but are not like compounding tragedies. Because I feel like as a New Yorker, things like this, they create a shadow over the city.
Yes, it does.
It's triggering to folks who have lived here and experienced 9/11, because you're just like, what's going on? You're nervous, you're scared.
Something is falling out of the sky.
Something's falling out of the sky. And then any sort of transportation is impacted because people are scared.
Yeah.
You never know what's going on. And just like, it is heightened. It makes it already a city that's already has heightened anxiety about certain things, even more so.
Yes.
But we are sending our love and our condolences to their families of all those who are impacted, because this is, it's never an easy situation.
Right.
And lastly, we are sending a rest in peace to LSU's Kyren Lacy. So he was a former wide receiver at LSU, and also an NFL draft prospect. He passed away on the 12th in Houston, Texas, unfortunately by his own hand. His death occurred several days before he was scheduled for a grand jury hearing related to a car crash that he was involved in this past December that resulted in the death of a 78-year-old man. His father posted up on Facebook saying that mental health is real and for the most part it's invisible. Don't ignore the signs, even if they may seem small. And said that he and his family's lives have changed forever, and this will never be okay. But God needed my baby more than he was needed here. Of course, LSU has expressed the condolences to his family and his teammates and the coaches. Many NFL players I saw were posting up their RIPs to him. And this is obviously, a very sad and complicated situation. Yes, he was in trouble and having some issues with the law and possibly could have, perhaps he took his own life because he was worried about going to jail or anything having to do with the impact of the car crash that happened.
Or maybe
this
just the
past December.
weight of, potentially having been responsible
for someone else's death. Yeah. There's so many things that go into it, and reading just the stories of the people that knew him. This is a very difficult situation, and at the end of the day, mental health is extremely important. And these are times where, if someone commits has a mistake and ends up hurting someone, it's important that the community is still supporting them in making sure that their mental health is still there, because someone can say they're okay, but we never know. And there's a variety of reasons that someone might want to take their life. And these sort of instances, they just add on to it.
Sure.
So don't, if you are someone, if you're dealing with something that seems insurmountable, you don't know how you're going to get through it or get past it, please remember that there are resources out there. There are people that, will talk to you and that are there to support you, and that taking your life is not the only way out. And so we just start sending our love to his family and friends. And also to the family and friends of the man who passed away in the car crash, because this is just like a compounding tragedy on top of tragedy.
Yes. So RIP to everyone that has been mentioned, and we're sending our condolences to the surviving family members and loved ones.
Yes. So are you ready to get into this week's pop culture?
I sure am.
When you want a hot meal without a big deal, what are you gonna pick?
Pop topics.
All right. So kicking things off, we have another set of shenanigans from the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you have heard, but Trump is raising tariffs from other countries into America. So he is adding a 60% tariff on Chinese goods and 20% on everything else coming into the U.S.
Yes.
Which he is saying is going to protect American jobs and industries. But many people, especially the economists, are just afraid of what's going to happen because everyone is saying that this is going to jack up prices for everyday things like clothing, electronics, groceries, and possibly spark a trade war. There was an update that I was listening to earlier today where Trump is saying that he's putting back the tariffs, I believe, on gaming things. Hold on, sorry.
What, on gaming electronics?
Yeah, it's like on electronics. He is he's considering pausing auto tariffs, which would be great. But he said, I'm looking at something to help some of the car companies with it. And they need a little bit of time because they're going to make them here, but they need a little bit of time. So I'm talking about things like that. Every single time, this is just like TikTok. Okay? He proposes all these tariffs. Everybody gets up in arms. And then he's like, oh, actually, we're going to do a 90-day pause. Like, there's never was a need to add to the tariffs. And I think that most people, they don't really even know what tariffs are. I found a very easy
I feel like it's one of those things that only comes up once or twice a decade, but by and large, like you kind of forget that tariffs are even a thing.
Well, just
because something will happen that will impact the economy
Yeah.
that will involve tariffs.
so everybody can have a quick rundown. I found the Encyclopedia Britannica posted up on their Facebook a very quick and easy way for you to understand how does tariff work. So, say a pair of shoes is made in China and it costs $40. The U.S. adds a 54% tariff, which costs the importer or the company about $22 extra. Now the cost of those shoes will be $62 before they get to the stores. Then the store might have a markup, say it's $8. So without the tariff, the shoes would have cost you $48. With the tariff, they're about $70. So who pays the extra when a tariff comes in? It is you, the consumer. Or the store takes a little bit of the hit, but generally, like, how many stores do you think are actually going to be that like altruistic to take on the main course?
None, not a lot at all.
So either way, that the shoes are going
in
to
this
be
economy, no,
more expensive. And it's been funny because Trump, you see him here with President Xi Jinping. Hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. The funniest thing about this to me is that he and Trump are both Geminis. Days, Trump is the 14th. Trump is June 14th. He's June 15th. So this is
Trump is June 14th?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That is interesting.
And you see that these little smirks that they have on, like, these are the two pettiest people going back and forth, and they are going to go back and forth forever until one of them like says enough.
Yeah. Not to mention that they're also smirking because Trump is doing that weird handshake thing that he does. It's like a weird power move thing that he does where like he grabs it and jolts it and stuff. Like, see, let me show you.
Wait, hold on. Let me take the camera down, the picture down so we can show them. Okay.
It's like a this thing, like it goes this way. It's
kind of as if he's gonna be like giving you like a kiss on the hand, but instead it's like a weird limp handshake. So of course, China, they have been having a heyday with this because you see, like on Twitter, on TikTok, they've been posting up so many things. And I found some that I thought were very hilarious. Because the influencers, they've been in their bag with this one. This first one that I found is a video that one of them made to show what it's going to be like for Americans when China is no longer creating all of the products that we own in our home. The thing about Americans that always like makes me chuckle is that
whenever Americans are portrayed, they're portrayed as overweight.
Well, yes, overweight and lazy because we are.
Yeah.
But I feel like because we have been in kind of a pampered state, even though, like, yes, we have a lot of poverty, we have a lot of things that need to be changed in this country, but compared to many other places, regardless of whether it's Europe, Asia, Africa, we do not have to bear the brunt of a lot of things that other countries do. So we don't understand, like,
we're in like an economical bubble.
Exactly. And it's like when people in other countries say that Americans are pampered, it's true. Like, we have not, since the Civil War, we haven't had a war on our shores, which is why we're so gung-ho to like have a war and go fight somewhere because we're always leaving.
Because we're always going somewhere else to fight.
compared to other countries where they're like, hey, slow down, because they remember what it's like to have whole entire cities like level to the ground and things like that, like having to work hard to get something and not just having it shipped over. Like all these things make up a good portion of people in other countries kind of personalities outside of ours. Like we are just like, oh, I want this thing, I'm gonna buy it, because we are built on consumerism and not anything else. So we think, oh, well, someone's gonna have to make it, you're going to have to make it. And we are not built tough. Okay, we're talking about built for tough. We are not.
No, we're not. We're not a bunch of Fords.
Like to have to work in the factory and like do the same little thing over and over again. We are not doing that. We don't even want to do the bare minimum. You couldn't even have people like wear a mask without crying.
Sure.
Or
I remember
6 feet away from each other without like,
or isolate or stay in. Well,
did like that, but most people like we cannot take any kind of.
I was actually laughing at you because I was like, like most people didn't even want to stay indoors, and I did not. Traveling all over the place.
All right,
like a true American.
And then this other one that I thought was very funny, because I think that people probably say like, oh, well, who cares? We don't have to buy stuff in America, but think about how many things you have in your house that are not made here, whether it's China, whether it's any part of Asia, any part of Africa, Europe, South America, etc. We do not make things here.
Hello from China. Let me show you the United States products in my home. Nothing. Do you have something from China in your home?
Yeah.
Everything. Like I looked up the things that are made in America, like the most popular things that are made in America. You want to know what they are?
Yes.
Crayola crayons.
Okay.
Airstream trailers. Even though for some reason the Airstream trailers has a picture of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Ben and Jerry's ice cream, I should say. I guess Ben and Jerry's is made in America, I guess.
I think so.
Igloo coolers, Zippo lighters, Lodge cookware, KitchenAid, which I do actually own a bunch of KitchenAid.
We don't have any more KitchenAid.
That's right. We have glass stuff.
They're all plastic, so we don't really use those anymore.
Harley Davidson motorcycles. This one is crazy. Burt's Bees products, which I hate. I hate all the Burt's Bees stuff. But for some reason, the picture of Burt's Bees product is a gun.
What's more American than bees and guns?
Gibson guitars, Levi Strauss & Co., Louisville Slugger bats, Pyrex glassware.
Yeah, we do have some Pyrex stuff.
Yeah, Chesapeake Bay candles, Hallmark cards. Oh, at least iPads are made in America?
That's wrong.
That has to be wrong.
I feel like whoever probably made this is an AI thing that's trying to. Because there's no way iPads are definitely made
Ford Mustangs with a picture of guitars. And I don't know what. Oh, Jack Daniels and Slinky. So
the majority of these things are not like a majority of these products. The average person doesn't have a bunch of Slinkies in their home, So these things are kind of like, okay, great, but also.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is like I haven't had a Zippo lighter since I was in college. And the only reason why I bought the Zippo lighter was because I thought it made me look cool, just to like have it. But
they are kind of
found out that you had to
refill it.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, what's the point of this? I'll just stick with Bic.
Lit like Bic.
Yeah.
Well, we have outside of China, we have some trading thing. Tariffs are going up in Canada and Mexico. Up by 25% on most goods, with a 10% tariff on Canadian energy exports, and the European Union is going up by 20% tariffs. And then the auto industry, which we were discussed, said it was a 25% tariff on automobiles, but now Trump is saying there's going to be a pause on that. So this is going to be very interesting. The economists are warning of a potential inflation reaching 4.4% and a slowdown in U.S. economic growth by 1.1%. Disposable income may decrease by over $4,000 annually. which is already we don't have a lot of disposable income.
I definitely don't have a lot of disposable income.
We're just
so.
I mean, we have talked about it on this podcast before, but I think this is just a reminder of all the things that you can buy, make them yourself if you can. Obviously, you can't really make a podcast mic or something, but like make the things that you can, grow what you can at your home. Go to secondhand stores, go to vintage stores, buy stuff. Just because you don't have to have the newest thing. And hopefully that will not just benefit your pockets, but also benefit like reduce, reuse, recycle. Because
you don't need a Nintendo Switch. Like I've been seeing those ads on the train. For like old school electronics. Like get an old iPhone instead of the newest iPhone,
which would be better for people everywhere.
Play a Game Boy Advance. Like get a Nintendo 64 refurbished.
I think there's other ways to help yourself out in the situation.
GoldenEye.
But it's just unfortunate that this president is constantly putting us in situations where we have to figure out like how are we going to keep ourselves from going broke this time. Like it's shenanigans always. Fuck Trump always.
It's always fuck Trump. Situations will arise. You said he's always putting us into situations. That's what made us. That's what made us. That's what made me think of that.
He is always putting us in terrible situations. And I just want everybody else outside of this of the United States to know that he's not like us. Okay.
Yes, he's not like us. He's not like us.
And I just wish that every time he imposed something that was going to be terrible, that it would be only people who voted for him that were going to be the ones to be impacted, because it's very unfortunate that we have to deal with all of his shenanigans. But
trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
We know his history.
Yes.
So
yeah,
he's got lots of weird cases. All right. Moving on to another criminal. And before we get into this, we are going to have to put up a warning.
Warning.
Because this situation is going to be talking about a domestic violence situation. There's a video. So please take care of yourself if need be. If you need to fast forward, please do that. But this past weekend, this Southern University football player, Quandaries Davis, was caught on video abusing his now ex-girlfriend, Juliana Monet. Apparently, on April 12th, some people's outside ring cameras or whatever captured a extremely violent incident outside of her home, where he was seen grabbing her and choking her until it looks like she kind of passed out. And she actually, I believe, posted this video. And she posted on her Instagram along with the footage saying everything is captured. I called the police. My neighbors called the police. I will be pressing charges, and no, I am not going back. So again, warning, I'm about to put the video up. It is graphic. You do see, him harming her, just for, everyone.
Warning.
Okay. Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the most disturbing aspect of that is when she goes limp and passes out.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know what's wrong with people, with men these days, or just men always, that they feel the need to impose themselves on someone like that. Like, if she broke up with you, just take it. There's like, leave her alone. Like, go be mad, whatever. If you want to
go blow off some steam, do something else.
But like, there's never a reason to put your hand on someone. She couldn't even fight back. Like, you are so much stronger than her. And this could have been she could have been in the RIP section after that. Like, this is such a traumatic situation. And I hope that she has so many people behind her and supporting her. I just wanted to show her. She posted on Twitter that her Twitter posts, and she posted up that she's thankful that she's seeing everyone's messages. She's super overwhelmed and thanks everyone for checking in. She also posted that there have been some men who have been saying that she was chasing an NFL check, and that that was why she ended up getting beat up, which is like, that's never a reason, even regardless of the reasons why she went out with him. That is no bearing on him attacking her and beating her up like that. That is never a reason to come for someone and abuse them. And fuck all of you for even putting that into her messages. Like, go find something else to do. I'm sure that there are many reasons for why they were in together. She said that the reasons that she broke up with him is because she was seeing red flags. Thank goodness she got out when she did, because if he was going to do that at her house when people are outside, or because knows that people might be able to see that, who knows what else he could have done with her.
Yeah.
So Gianna, we are sending you lots of love, and we hope that you are safe and taken care of and being supported right now, because this is a terrible thing to happen. But kudos for you for getting out of the situation and making him be held accountable, even if it's in the court of public opinion, that he is going to have to be accountable for his actions, because this was just, a disgusting and despicable act. So we are sending you all of our love and support.
Agreed.
All right. Are you ready to move into some music news?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I think we should start off with some hotly contested Twitter conversation that I saw. There is a podcast called The Rap Roundtable, and they had some very polarizing comments on their podcast this past week concerning rap albums. So let's just hear what they had to say.
There is no rap album in history with 0 skips. One Time for Your Mind, Cashmere Thoughts, that shit with DMC off Life After Death, Lost in This World off of my Dark Twisted Fantasy.
He's crazy.
Yes, Sin. I'm good. Leave it off.
My downfall is a skip?
Yes, skip it. I'm good.
And
another with Little Kim too. I might skip both. That's a double skip for a double album. The joint with Kim on there.
Okay, I can see that.
Get them both out of there. 2 skips.
You should have gone with that.
Yeah,
you should have gone with that. My downfall
is crazy. Too easy.
What's the skip on Illmatic?
One Time for Your Mind. I'm good. Get it out of here. No thanks. One time and never again. But yeah, like,
but I know what the one he gonna go to.
That nigga Jigga, Blueprint. Game it. What's a perfect album to you? It ain't as perfect as you think. There is no rap album in history that has 0 skips. So I don't never want to hear a 0 skip argument as a.
What's the skip on the Pac album again?
What's your phone number? One of the worst songs in history.
What's your skip on 7 Day Theory?
7 Day Theory, that shit, just like Daddy. Like,
wow, I
pause.
like Just Like Daddy. Pause.
Come
with me.
Pac didn't even know that.
Walter says graduation.
Drunken hot girls, bro. That's easy.
Drunken hot girls. Get it out of here.
That was terrible.
Get it out of here.
That was terrible.
That's the shit that got Puff locked up.
But Reasonable Doubt don't got no skips, bro.
Cashmere Thoughts. I don't never want to hear it again.
Cashmere Thoughts is not a skip. You're
It's
crazy.
skip. I've skipped it plenty of times.
No
It's a
way.
skip.
You see how you're reacting, Dini?
No way.
Yeah, you gave us some very agreeable opinions. Now you see
Right.
what's you.
So
Wait.
This is blasphemy.
How do you feel about B as an album?
Oh shit!
What's a skip on B?
God damn it!
The whole album.
No, you're crazy.
Nah.
Fuck up.
I have to go through the track list. B is
there might not
B
be a
is a
skip.
super classic.
Hold on. Let me look at it real quick. There might not
Most
be
overrated album.
You know
of
what I mean?
Kanye,
B is a
early
classic.
Kanye era.
That album is
Get
classic,
that album
bro.
the fuck out.
But
of
I'm
here,
sure I'll find me a
That's his
skip.
magnum opus
Y'all
to me.
capping.
I'm sure I can listen. That's why I don't like the whole no skip argument as it's a classic because it has no skips. Then there's never been a classic in rap history. Then
be the
you know what I'm
story.
saying? Because every album I've skipped.
Testify. It might be Testify.
You crazy? Testify is fire.
I don't.
Testify. I don't like it because of the video.
We're not talking about the song you like the least. I'm talking about. But do you have to skip Testify in the process of listening to the album? No, you don't.
You don't have to, but it's
So you
easily
saying that
skipped.
B has no skips?
B is one of them ones, man. I've been saying
Does it have no skips?
I don't
No
see a skip
skips.
on here.
Testify is a skip. The guy who he even said it.
I love Testify.
I trust Sin's opinion on B.
I've spoke so highly of this. This album is really good, bro. Like,
There's no rap albums ever existed with 0 skips.
I do not agree with this.
I don't agree with it at all.
This is another reason why.
B is a no skip album.
Which one?
B by Common.
Yeah, B.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm thinking about rap albums, the recent ones that I felt like were no skip that I've listened to, GNX.
GNX, yes.
Nicki, not Nicki Minaj. Meg Thee Stallion's most recent album, Doechii.
Sure. I would say Pusha T's Daytona. I would say Get Rich or Die Trying. B by Common.
Stankonia by Outkast. The Speaker Box and the Love Below by Outkast.
For
me
you brought this
personally-
up before, and I would say which one, Speaker Box or Love Below?
Well, definitely the Love Below because I listened to that one way more.
I could probably do without Hey Ya. I could probably skip Hey Ya.
Really?
Yeah,
That's because you heard it so often.
I probably heard it so often that I could probably. It's not its best song.
No, it's not his best, but if I think of taking out songs that you hear repeat all the time, like if they hadn't played Hey Ya every single chance,
But they
get.
but they did. They played
But I
that
think
song
that's
into the dirt.
The only reason I would skip that is because I'm like, oh, I've heard this song so much. But if it's just for me and I'm
If you're just
listening
putting
to it,
on the album
I
all the
wouldn't
way
listen
through,
I would not skip it.
you wouldn't skip it. Okay, then I would say
even-
Mad Villain. Mad Villainy.
To Pimp a Butterfly,
Yes, to
Good
Pimp a
Kid,
Bu-
Mad City,
Mhm.
Drake's Take Care.
Food and Liquor by Lupe Fiasco. The
yeah,
Cool.
That was
The
yeah.
Cool by
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco. What else? What else?
What was Drake's
Flower
album?
Boy by Tyler the Creator. Nas Illmatic.
Definitely Take Care. Scorpion.
I would say RTJ, Run the Jewels 2, 3, and 4 are no skips.
Watch
for
the
me.
Throne.
You already said To Pimp a Butterfly. Midnight Marauders by a Tribe Called Quest. And Low End Theory is a no skip. We got it here. We got it from here. Thank you for your service, Tribe Called Quest. Is no skip. What else? Would you say Kendrick Lamar's Damn?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I can't think of a song on there I'd want to skip.
exactly.
So, I mean, I just feel like, I don't know. So when I went to the rap roundtables, I went to see they had a website or whatever. They have a YouTube channel, and it's like their taglines like you just came to hip hop and we were molded by it or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if you feel like you were molded by hip hop, how could you think there's skipped albums there's no albums with 0 skips on them?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like there are a ton of really perfect hip hop albums out there, and
I
we
feel like
named
this
a few.
was a rage bait conversation.
It had to have been.
Like I feel like that guy just was saying things. because he knew that people were going to
He absolutely didn't believe what he was saying.
Because, like, even thinking, okay, Biggie, Ready to Die,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an album that came out, of course, when we were very young, and I've listened to it, throughout the course of my life, and I think it's a great album. I would not do some of the songs, okay, with time. Would I say like, oh, that's problematic for sure. But if I'm just talking about the music in itself, like several of Drake's albums, to me, I have had no skips. Do I necessarily want to listen to like the most recent ones? No, those definitely lots of skips. But I think you could find with any rap artist, whether they were super mainstream or like a little bit more indie or whatever, like a Lupe Fiasco or whatever like that, then maybe you could be like, okay, I don't necessarily want like all the songs as much as I liked when they came out, but I still feel like it's hard to you can't tell me that there's a no rap album with 0 skips, the same way you couldn't say there is no pop album or jazz album or something, because in every genre
there's a no skip album.
A no skip. Like, you can't, like, every album's not going to
Thriller is a no skip album.
Yes. Is every single Michael Jackson album a no skip? Probably not. But there are definitely no skips. You can't tell me that you really love music that much, specifically hip hop, and that you're telling me that there's no album that you can't say you want to play it all the time. And taking out, and I will say the only caveat I will give you is if there's a song on that album that like people play all the time. So it's like, okay, if you wanted to listen to a Kendrick Lamar album and you were going to skip All Right or whatever, because you hear that a lot, but you want to hear more of the rest of the song.
Sure.
Okay.
But even the song itself is not a.
It's not a skip.
It's not a skip. It's just that it's your personal
often.
Preference that you've heard it a lot.
Exactly. Because the first time,
you don't want to hear it.
If you took out the radio out of it, you would be playing that album all the time, going over it. And even like for me, I know I like an album when usually I'll play it all the way through. Then after I play it all the way through a few times, then I do a shuffle, and then I'm like, okay, I'm shuffling it so I could hear the songs in a different order, whatever. But I just feel like that was you were just trying to be antagonistic.
Yeah, that was a very dumb thing to say. Very dumb. Very dumb take. Dumb take. Just for those of y'all who are watching on Instagram, this is a warning.
When
folks.
Warning.
This is a warning. Yeah, folks, this is a warning in that Instagram might shut us down at the hour mark.
It's being very finicky because it didn't do it this past weekend. The weekend before that, when we were streaming, it cut off at an hour.
It cut off at an hour.
If it does, go to our YouTube, go to our Facebook.
Well,
we'll put Spotify.
We'll put both the Facebook and the YouTube links in the chat so that y'all could easily go there to continue to watch this awesome show.
Yes.
And I'll give you another warning when we're close to an hour.
All right. So speaking about no skip albums, Kendrick Lamar did a video for his no skip album GNX for the song Luther.
Yes, the music video was amazing.
It was beautiful.
It was very cinematic. I love the visuals. I love the leading lady in there. Not just SZA, but the other woman that was in there. And the other guy that was in there.
It was great. And you know that they said
very attractive.
Well, number one, the song is still number one on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yes, it is.
So congratulations.
So sorry, Nokia, you ain't getting there.
Sorry. I'm actually surprised that Luther is the number one because it's a slower song. It's not like a hip, you're playing it at parties.
Yeah,
but it's a really good song.
You would think, and it also
maybe like Squabble Up or something. Yes, but I wouldn't have thought that people would have been latched on to Luther like that.
Or Peekaboo.
Yeah.
I really like Peekaboo. Or TV Off.
Yeah, there's so many of them on that album.
Yeah.
But the fact that Luther's number one, I love
Luther
that.
is a vibe.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah, so it makes sense that it would be the one to catch fire.
So for the song, if you all don't know, it is sampling Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn's 1982 version of "If This World Were Mine." And I loved that they added more of the song into the video.
Yes, me too. Because it makes me love and appreciate Luther even more. Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Shout out to you know what? Shout out to Luther. Both the song and the legendary artist. We never watched that documentary on Luther, did we?
I know, but I want to watch it because I heard it was really good.
I heard it was really good too.
So the video, it pays homage to Poetic Justice.
Yes, which makes sense because that's also yet another. Yes, it pays homage to the movie Poetic Justice.
Yes, the movie.
It's ironic that Poetic Justice is the song that he has with Drake.
Yes, and it was directed by Karina Evans,
who also worked with Drake.
So there's a lot of it's possible some Easter eggs in there. Is Kendrick gonna come out with another?
A little bit of a nice sultry LA style fuck you.
I loved it, but it was a beautiful video. We first got to see it performed live at the Super Bowl, which they did a great job with.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, Kendrick, he always finds a way to reinvigorate his music. And we were talking about, do we think that he has another album coming out?
I think he does. I think there's one that I give it. He's already doing a tour for GNX, right? Yeah. I think once the tour is over, he'll probably come out with another song because he's been doing a really good job of being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like normally back in the day, normally he would pop out with an album, do his thing, and then go away for like a couple years to just chill and meditate.
Yeah.
And, you know, eat some ayahuasca or
doing
whatever,
some push-ups.
do some burpees on a rooftop with his children on his back. But yeah, like he's being a little bit more consistent. He was on the Playboi Carti album 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been more active ever since the beef.
Yeah, Drake sparks something in him.
This is the most music that we've gotten from him.
I think he's doing that because you know how Drake always is coming out with an album like once a year. I feel like he's just like trying to be on Drake's.
He's trying to show him that like he could do it too.
He could do it too, but also better.
Not only can he do it, but he could do it more artfully.
Because Drake will put out a freaking 100 album or 100 song album. And you'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Well, Drake will just shit out albums, essentially. Like, For All the Dogs was just some shit that he threw out there.
That's a skip album.
Her Loss.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
The one with 21 Savage?
No, that was Her Loss.
Oh, okay.
But I'm thinking of another one. The one before Her Loss.
I don't even remember.
I'd have to look
Couldn't
it up.
tell you.
I don't even want that in my save. But yeah, so Kendrick Lamar has been popping out more recently, and I love it. It's good for hip hop. It's good for music in its entirely.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show people.
Yes, you do.
All right. So, do you want to talk about the Billboard's best female rappers of all time?
I do want to talk about that.
All right. So best female rappers. I'm going to show it so we can go through this list.
Mm-hmm.
So they have. All right, so Billboard. Now, mind you, these are staff picks, so take this with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 25 greatest rappers, and they voted on them based on their body of work and achievements, which are charted singles, albums, gold, platinum certifications, their cultural impact and influence, how the artists' work foster the genre's evolution, their longevity, which is years at the mic, lyrics, which are their storytelling skills, and their flow, aka vocal prowess.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we have. 25, Tierra Whack.
Yes.
I feel like she could be higher because I think that when I think about a lot
she's still relatively new though.
Yeah, but she's on the same. I think she's come out at similar times as some of these other artists.
Mm-hmm.
And she has, when I'm thinking about, even if she may not be charting, like her influence and her skill set, whether vocal prowess and her storytelling skills, are super high up. So I would say I think she could possibly.
I did like her album Whack World.
Yeah, I think that's a really great album.
Yes.
Doechii also would say I think she should be higher.
But how high are we talking? Because she just won a Grammy for Best Rap Album this year. And again, I still think that her being on this list is dope. I don't know necessarily higher.
Maybe 20. I don't know.
I can see her at 20.
I think she could be higher.
Yeah, I can see her at 20.
Gangsta Boo, definitely think she should be higher due to her influence in the rap music, both in and outside of Memphis. R.I.P. Gangsta Boo, she passed away. I believe it was this year or last year. She added so much to hip hop. Definitely, I would say a pioneer, especially of like Southern women in hip hop. So could definitely be higher. Lady of Rage, found an amazing female rapper. Definitely, when you think about like the first, she's like Gangsta Boo, which is like the first ones coming out of like from her era and her area. But I will give her 22. I think that one is okay for her. Glorilla, great artist. I maybe would switch her with Gangsta Boo.
You would put her lower.
I would put her a little lower.
Okay.
I would put her, or even if I switched her and Doechii. Because
interesting. Yes, I could see that.
I love Glorilla.
Yes.
I love her albums. I love her music. I love who she is. Like I love her whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think
and she has some memorable rhymes too.
She does.
Shoving on my moose knuckle.
You love that.
Yes, that's my favorite. She's showing off her moose knuckle.
But I think that versatility wise, I feel like sometimes listening to her music, it kind of all sounds the same. So I don't know. But I do want her to continue to grow as an artist. She only has recently been putting out like
I would
albums.
put her higher if I knew what her dance was that she's always talking about. People are coming to see it do my dance. What is the dance? I want to see it on TikTok. Someone do a TikTok of what the Glorilla is. All right, Moni Love is next at what is that?
She's
at 20. Okay,
right.
That's fair.
Now, and she's British, which even I think adds some extra element of that because she's, like I said, another of the first of her ilk to come from a certain area. So I definitely think 20, maybe a little bit higher. I don't know, but definitely she has paved the way for so many other female rappers. Lotto, she could be lower.
Yeah, Lotto could be lower.
I'm never going to be able to get over her being naming herself Mulatto and getting pissed off that people said, hey, that's kind of weird, and then refusing to change it and only did it because she finally was getting like, she realized, I guess this is kind of keeping me from going further. And she called one of her dark skin like makeup artists a roach. So some things about her kind of problematic for me, but I do think I like her songs. She's fun. So her being on this list, okay, but I would switch her at least I would switch her with Doechii, at least. Remy Ma, number 18. I love Remy Ma.
But she should be a little bit higher.
I think she should be a little bit higher for sure.
Yeah. I'll put her in the top 10, maybe 10.
Okay.
Remy Ma.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Rhapsody. Now, I would say, like, I know Rhapsody is very
she's skilled. She is very skilled
in hip hop. I couldn't name necessarily her songs, but I know the influence that she's had in other both male and female rappers.
Sure.
So I think that she could definitely be higher on this list, but she should be on this list regardless. Doja Cat. Love Doja Cat, but she should be a little bit lower.
Ad-lib.
I cannot forget her showing her feet off to racist white men in chat rooms. So I feel like, and like also I would say I think that Doja Cat is talented.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that she has created a space for herself within hip hop and
all things considered, considering how she started out as like a moo, yeah.
And I liked that. It was fun. Like, it was funny. Like, her becoming like a serious
She was a meme,
artist.
and now she's a serious artist.
She's been able to do that, and I like that. But I just feel like I would definitely, like, if I could, I actually probably would switch Doechii with her.
Okay. And also everybody who's on Instagram, this is a warning, letting you know that Instagram is probably gonna possibly shut this off. So look in the chat for the Instagram, for the YouTube and Facebook links.
All right. Now we have Meg Thee Stallion at 15. I love Meg. I think she's amazing. I think she continues to grow.
Meg is maybe put her a little bit higher
I
at
would
like
put her
13.
Higher. I would put her higher. I feel like there might be some people, like, I wouldn't put her only because
I wouldn't put her in the top 10 because she's still growing.
New. Yeah,
she's still new.
So, like, to me, when I think about top 10, I think those are people who should be like seasoned.
Yes,
but she could definitely be higher.
Yes.
Left Eye definitely should be higher.
Oh, should be higher.
Definitely
Maybe
should
put
be
her in the
higher.
top 10.
Definitely
not
top
10.
Yeah, definitely top 10. I don't know about not 10, but definitely within the top 10.
Yeah, she wouldn't be in the top 5, but she'd be in the top 10.
Yeah, Trina. She's the baddest bitch.
She is the baddest.
She's the baddest bitch.
Yes.
They could have picked a better picture for her though, but whatever. The Brat also should be higher. Has made a way for herself throughout music and hip hop and entertainment.
What you like?
So I feel like she could be higher here. Cardi B, love Cardi B.
She should be a little bit lower.
You think so? Who would you switch her with? Left Eye?
Maybe Left Eye. Yeah.
I love Cardi B. I feel like she has, in her own right, carved out her own lane.
She's a Grammy winner. She
works hard. So, I don't hate her being at 11, but I would say switching her out with even the Brat or Left Eye would be fine with me.
Yeah.
Foxy Brown, number 10. I don't hate that.
I'm not mad at that. Top 10 at 10. Yeah, sure.
Don't hate that. Eve. Now, maybe I would switch Eve with Trina.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm torn because of all the work that she has done.
Yeah.
And she was extremely prolific when we were growing up.
Yeah.
But the knock against her is her and that goddamn Nasty Girl song from that terrible TV show that she
didn't
was
have
in.
any agency in that.
She probably.
That's why she left.
I don't know. I have
She was
no
like,
idea.
I'm tired of doing these terrible raps.
That's why she was on Zoom for the second half of the series.
Yep.
Be with a nasty girl.
Roxanne Shante. Okay, you know what?
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm not mad at 8.
she's so integral to hip hop and so many of the artists that we know now. So she definitely deserves to be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Salt and Pepper. Okay.
Again, also deserves to be in the top 10.
Yeah. MC Light. MC Light has been keeping it strong, keeping it on.
Maybe a little lower in the 10, but still in the 10.
I mean, she's the host of like every Viacom award show and things like that. So
VH1 shit.
VH1, BET, MTV, you can find her somewhere hosting on the mic.
Yeah, she's getting that paper.
So good for her.
Stack that cheese.
Queen Latifah at number 5. She should be higher.
How high? Well, how high are we talking?
Let's see who else is here.
Because she's top 5.
She's top 5, but I feel like she could be higher.
All right. Let's see.
Lil' Kim. I love Lil' Kim. I think that the number 4 is fine for her. Definitely is the reason why we have some of these artists that we have now. Lauryn Hill
could be lower.
Who would you switch
I would
Lil'
keep
Kim?
her in the top 10, but maybe in the back 10 because I see her more as a singer. I know that she has some raps underneath her belt. Not some raps. I know that she is a rapper. I'm giving her that she is a rapper.
Okay.
But it's more like, to me, it's more like 50-50. She's like
you could do
50% of the time she's
also
a
rapper and a singer. So many of these rappers are rappers and singers, whether they're male or female.
Okay, but Queen Latifah is also a jazz musician, but like how she... Fine, okay, but I would still put her. I'd put her like maybe 6 or 7.
If you were putting her in a cipher, she would slay.
I guess. Maybe. I'd still say 6 or 7.
All right,
Missy Elliott,
number 2.
Yes.
I think she should be number 1.
You think Missy Elliott should be number one?
Missy Elliott should be number one. Nicki Minaj, number one. I don't think so. She could be in top 10, but not number one. She could maybe even be top 5.
I gotta say it kind of makes sense that yes, I also would want Missy Elliott to be number one, but I do understand how making Nicki Minaj number one would make sense to a lot of people. Like in a lot of ways, she paved the way for this generation of rappers. Like
but I think so.
And she was skilled on the mic for what she was doing at the time.
Yeah.
She was hanging with the men too. Like,
but you can say that for a lot of the women on this list.
I'm not saying that a lot of women weren't hanging with the men, but like she was hanging with like gangsta ass niggas like Lil Wayne and shit, you know.
So were so many other women on this list.
I'm not saying that they weren't. I'm just pointing out what she did.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, and Nicki Minaj is number one on this list.
I think that Nicki Minaj, if the problems that I have with her being number one is I don't feel like recent years she has really been being the best that she could be. You know,
you think her legacy has taken a hit?
Yes, because she's been so concerned with her pedophile abuser husband and trying to clap back at women, other female rappers who have come out, that she's really not changing or making better music. Like they talk about, you know, Pink Friday 2, but Pink Friday 2 compared to Pink Friday, like Pink Friday was a great album. I would say like no skips, doing so great, all that. I just don't feel like she has really grown in her artistry and in her music in the last few years. I feel like it's been very much her just going on tirades, which is really to me why I feel like they put her on the list, because they don't want to have her tweeting them about like sexism or whatever bullshit she tries to pull out of her back pocket and sending the barbs on them. But to me, Missy Elliott, she should be number one, because without Missy Elliott, like, yes, all those other like iconic Black women on the list have done so much for hip hop. Roxanne Shante, MC Lyte, even Queen Latifah, all of them deserve like in those top spots. But I feel like without Missy, we don't get so many of these rappers, whether male or female, who are doing like innovative, fun stuff. Like, without Missy, you don't have a little Nas X.
Yeah,
you don't
I
even
can
have
see
a Nicki Minaj, because Nicki Minaj would not have been able to come out with these bright pink bubblegum Barbie doll outfits if Missy hadn't been doing that.
Hadn't worn that balloon suit and
like
super duper fly.
Every single one. Super duper fly, no skip. You know, like she just added so much to the culture, so much so that she was one of the, well, I guess she's technically, you're not the headliner if you're not the last act, but she was the second to last act for Coachella this past weekend.
Sure.
Which was great. I wish I could show you I wish we could show the clip of her performance.
Yeah.
Because she had a really cool Transformer themed, like when she was coming on, it was like Transformers and her showing her stuff. But these are some clips or some stills from the performance. Her usual futuristic thing that she's been doing forever.
Kind of looks like Kang.
Oh, okay. I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
You see here in her the iconic bubble jacket, reminiscent to the inflatable trash bag she had, and I Can't Stand the Rain.
Yeah.
And then just look at the material. She's 52, 53 years old.
Yeah,
She's
it's
on
incredible.
stage performing. She was a solo act with no guest performances.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of the year that she came out for the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and nobody.
I don't remember who was that.
anything
Katy Perry
about
year?
Katy Perry, except for those sharks. Everyone remembers.
Well, specifically Left Shark.
Everyone remembers Missy Elliott because when Missy Elliott came out, there was all these people who were like, confusingly like, who's Missy Elliott, which is like, how do you not know who she is? But her record sales went up, and that's like added a resurgence for her, for people, the younger crowd who didn't necessarily know who she was, and they have been even more invigorated by her music. I believe I've heard rumors she might be coming out with a new album.
That would be great.
That would be great. I would love to see it. She did. I saw some clips. She performed "Work It," "Lose Control," "Get Your Freak On." Great songs. She's a great artist. She is an iconic artist throughout the various decades, and she works like, not only is like, she's so great because it's not only her music that she puts out, but all of the other artists that she has worked on who she's elevated their music.
Yeah.
So that's really why I feel like when I'm thinking about number one, not just the vocal prowess, she has that, the lyrics, she has that, the storytelling, she has that, the innovation, she has that, the chart topping. She, to me, has all of these things, and also just seems like a really sweet and kind.
She does seem
person.
to be like super duper kind.
She does. Like when I look at her, if you look,
she's
at
like
her,
hip hop Mr. Rogers.
Exact. Perfect analogy. Because when you see on her social media, she's always like, be kind to everyone, like be nice. Like she's done.
And she's been around so long that like if something was up with her, like behind the scenes, like if she was a diva or something like that, like it would have come out by now. But
I've never heard anyone say anything.
No one has said negative about her.
She, even when like,
do you get the futuristic sounds of Aaliyah without Missy Elliott?
Aaliyah, Pharrell, like Timbaland and Magoo.
Yeah.
Even Busta Rhymes. Like she was inspiring people who she was working with and were around during that time, and she is the inspiration for all these other people. Could we have a Tierra Whack without Missy? Could we have a Doechii without Missy?
Or No Name?
Or no, like all of these people. You couldn't even have a Lil Yachty without Missy. Any of these rappers who are doing fun, weird, different things with their music, you could not have them without Missy, male or female. So she should be number one. But
okay,
that's their staff pick. That we know our staff picks, and we know who is right and who's wrong. But shout out to Missy. Also, T-Pain performed. Green Day performed. I saw clips of their set. It was really cool. So Lady Gaga was the headliner for, I believe, Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
The next performance for Coachella comes out this weekend. So I did hear, though, some people were upset because on Sunday, Meg Thee Stallion performed, and they were saying that Coachella was like her sound was messed up, and she wasn't able to finish. So people are upset about that, which they should be. Like,
I would be upset.
Meg Thee Stallion, she is someone who, like, one thing with rappers, male or female, like when they can actually perform and not just stand around and move, like that is like, she gives on great performances. So I hope that they get it fixed up for this next week.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to movies. Do you like Minecraft, or have you ever played Minecraft?
I've never played Minecraft. I've always wanted to, but it feels like it's kind of like Legos and Sim City.
It is. I think about it as that game. I think it was called Civilization.
Civilization.
Yes.
Civilization. Will arise.
But Minecraft, it's super popular, especially with the younger generation, and they have a movie came out this week. So I saw. Let me just pick up the. hold on, I'm gonna go to the IMDb for the Minecraft movie so I can tell you all the people who were in it.
Well, Jason Momoa and Jack Black are
Do you
in
have
it.
the banner?
Yeah, I do. Here.
So you see here we have Jason Momoa, or as you like to say,
Jason Momoa.
Yes, because we always want more of him.
We want more of Jason Momoa.
Jack Black, who's not pictured. Danielle Brooks, Jennifer Coolidge. So it looks like, a star-studded cast. And it has done really well in its opening weekend. It opened to $163 million in the US, $313 million globally. And right now, it's currently highest grossing film of 2025.
Lava Chicken.
You could say it's done better than Snow White.
I mean, that would be.
It wouldn't be difficult to do.
That would not be a stretch.
I didn't even know
Snow White was coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they tried to bury that movie because old girl went on a bad PR press run for it initially, and then they got rid of the dwarves, and then they put the dwarves back in, but the dwarves were CGI, so actual little people couldn't get jobs to play those characters. So, and then I think they were suing or something like that. Like it's a big fuckery of a movie.
Apparently, though, it has gotten some controversy around the screenings because the people are going to the movies and are being like chaotic during a reference to, believe, the chicken jockey. They've been throwing popcorn. They have been yelling. And so apparently, like if you go to like, hold on,
These are references that I don't know because I've never played
know them
Minecraft.
because I've never played.
Yeah.
But let me just present real quick so you can see what I'm talking about.
Chicken jockey.
I don't even know like how it's supposed to sound or what it's supposed to look at like, but
oh wow.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Do you see the person on the person's shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot going on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I feel like, I don't know, kids have always, not even kids, people will be like silly and ridiculous in movies, especially if there's things that if it's an adaptation. So
far, my favorite video game adaptation has just been The Last of Us.
Well, that was good. The Super Mario Brothers
and Super Mario Brothers was really good.
Easily.
And Sonic. All three of the Sonic movies. Good. Well, I haven't watched the last Sonic movie, but I've been wanting to, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Yeah. Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
Oh, I love Keanu.
Yeah, we all love Keanu.
Apparently Jack Black came during the second weekend to X fans to not throw popcorn and no chicken jockeying, which I guess chicken jockeying must be a move.
Yeah.
So I understand why people might find it annoying. Like I remember being in theaters and as a teen and kids, people are like throwing popcorn and being silly. I think it definitely depends on the type of movie it is. Like, am I going to get mad at Minecraft doing that? If I'm going to watch like Sinners or something like a biopic
or like Schindler's List or something like that. Like imagine if they were chicky jockeying and fucking Schindler's List.
Now that's where I'm like, okay, can we this is a somber film, but I just feel like even the reviews for the movie have been kind of mixed. But I'm just like, it's a kids movie, young people's movie. Like sometimes you have to just recognize when something is not for you. Maybe this is a movie where you drop your kids off to see it, and you go into the theater next to them to watch Allura or Nora or whatever else is out right now, so you don't have to deal with it being obnoxious. But it's not saying as a kid, would I think that's obnoxious? Probably. I don't know. I might be like, I'm trying to hear the movie. I don't want anyone throwing popcorn at me and being like annoying sitting next to me. But it's kind of like that's what you get when you have movies.
It's kind of like going to see Rocky Horror Picture. Yeah,
you can't get mad at Rocky Horror Picture when we're doing the time
when
warp.
everybody's doing the time warp again.
Like that's just
and
what's gonna be.
What other bullshit that you're supposed to do? Like if you take a virgin, people are supposed to point and shout "virgin" at you or something like that. Supposed to shove a banana up somebody's ass or some shit.
That's
I don't know.
A step too far.
I don't know. Like I was on a game show once, and I had to lie and pretend like I had participated in Rocky Horror Picture, so I made up something, and everybody could tell I was lying because the entire audience was like, "Yeah, we love Rocky Horror Picture. We know all the inside movie fucking things." Well,
a banana in the ass is not one of them.
No, it is not.
But
that's not even the one that I said.
That could.
I said something about pantyhose. I think garter belt. I think like you're supposed to fling garter belts at the screen or something.
Well, in the next movie that is hopefully going to beat out Minecraft at their for the highest grossing would be Sinners.
Ryan Coogler.
Yes, it is a Ryan Coogler production. I am very much looking forward to this movie. I cannot wait to go see it. So if you have not heard about this movie, it is a vampire movie. Set in probably 20s or 30s because it seems like it's during Prohibition time. Michael B. Jordan is playing twins. And there is some kind of nefarious situation going on. I'm having hiccups. They're saying that open weekend is projected to make up to $40 million.
Interesting.
Deadline said they'll need $185 million to break even. But I feel like that shouldn't be a problem because Ryan Coogler's movies, one, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes as of the premiere and etc. so far.
I think the lowest rated Ryan Coogler movie is
Station.
No, it was actually Black Panther 2, which was like 84 or something.
But as he's made more and more movies, he has continued to grow in acclaim and just his abilities and everything. Like you could see the growth in the movies, which is great. Because even with people who may not have loved Wakanda Forever's story, you can't lie about the cinematography and the directing and all that.
It was
I think
really
people gave it
shot.
A lower rating because of the fact that Black Panther is gone, and it was like nobody really wanted to see another movie about Black Panther without having Chadwick Boseman, because of course, we're all just, completely saddened by that. But this movie, it has star-studded cast. We have Miles Keaton, Saul Williams, which I'm glad to see him in this movie because I haven't seen him in a movie in a while. Michael B. Jordan, like we said. We have Delroy Lindo, Hallie Stanfield, and Wunmi Mosaku, who was in Lovecraft Country, just to name a few people. So I am I'm looking forward to this. I don't know when I'm going to see it. Like they said that it was shot for IMAX. I saw a list. There's only 10 IMAX theaters across the country. It is not easy to get
across the country.
Yeah, it was a very the amount of IMAX.
I imagine there's not a lot of IMAXs in flyover states, but just 10 sounds like too little.
It was there was a list of places to see.
We have an IMAX in New York, right?
Yeah, we do.
Where is it?
But the 70 millimeter.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's uptown.
Okay.
It's by Lincoln Square. So the 70 millimeter theaters, which okay, here's a list. It looks like it's one. Well, those are in Canada.
Oh, okay.
There's
that okay.
I think it's less than it's like 10 or less within the country. So
that can't be. There's one in Maryland.
Yeah, but just because you have one in those places doesn't mean it's an IMAX 70 millimeter.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I think that there's just not a lot. Because people were complaining about the lack of those films where you could see the movie and it's like best rate. Like obviously you could see it anywhere and still enjoy it.
Sure.
But when a movie is made for a certain film type, like you would like to see like that to get the
kind of
best
like
experience.
the Hateful Eight was made with that special film camera that made it so that you had to see it in the most optimized widescreen version of it. Yeah.
So
70 millimeter.
I think the movie's going to come out great. I think it's going to widely crush the whatever projected amounts. I just don't think there's been a Ryan Coogler movie that has not surpassed what people could have thought it was. And it's Easter weekend. Black people are about to come out.
Yeah, of course. We wanna see the forces of evil get vanquished by Michael B. Jordan and his abs.
Exactly.
And his twins' abs.
Exactly.
Twin Michael B. Jordans?
We're coming out. That's a movie I want to see.
Michael B. Whoren. Because you get double the Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
He's whoring himself out.
Oh,
maybe that'll be the title.
Michael B. Whoren.
Yeah, Michael B. Whoren.
Anyway, the last bit of entertainment news that we wanted to talk about is about Keke Palmer and her pulling back her Jonathan Majors episode.
Would Whoren be WHORAN or EN?
That is something that we can figure out later because
I
can't even think about that right now.
All
right. So if you don't know, Keke Palmer has a podcast that she does, like a video podcast similar to ours, where she talks to people. It's called Baby, This is Keke Palmer. And to know about it, she'll talk, give her own little thoughts and ideas, etc. Off the cuff, informal conversations, a lot of fun. Last week, it came out that she was supposed to have an episode with Jonathan Majors. He has that new movie coming out, Magazine Dreams, and he has been doing a circuit of talking with various media platforms on different shows. We talked about it. He was on Complex. He was on Sherry Shepherd. He was going to be on her show. Now, people were not happy about this, as you can imagine, because of Jonathan Majors, domestic violence allegations and videos and all the other things that have come out about him in the last few years that have caused him to have the, downfall of his career. People said this is weird, especially because Keke Palmer has herself notably had domestic violence issues with her previous partner and child of her child's father that she was very open about, very vulnerable, etc. So people were just like, that's weird. That's suspicious. Why is this happening? But they nixed the episode, but not before the internet, in its very savvy ways, got a clip of, I guess this must have been like a teaser.
Yeah, maybe like a preview of the episode before the episode came out, back when they were teasing like the episode coming up.
So this is the teaser clip that went around that the people on the interwebs have called kind of awkward and cringy.
Emotional vulnerability or unshakable mystery?
Vulnerability.
Okay. Fall in love slow or fall in love loud?
Fall in love slow.
I love that. Owning the past or rewriting the future?
Owning the past.
Why?
We're talking about history in general or mine? Me personally.
I mean, really, any of it. Just your concept around maybe more so
Around time?
Around time.
Well, time is.
Oh my gosh, I've been so into
everything.
time lately. Oh, yo, gosh, man.
Yeah.
Literally, this time thing.
Look it.
I love that you. We literally.
Wicked. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Very wicked.
Very wicked.
Okay.
Come on, girl.
Goodbye,
Come on,
Gravity.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Co-star in a rom-com with Megan Good or a
Co-star in
buddy
a
cop
rom-com
movie
with Megan Good.
or a buddy cop movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh no, Mike. Oh no. I mean, that would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh, even that voice. I want that to be the voice of the character. That would be hilarious.
Michael. Hey, bro, what's up? Michael. Yeah. I got to do my baby.
Period.
I got to keep it in the family.
You heard that, man?
Yeah,
Period. And I'm ready for the rom-com. You are amazing.
I'm sorry. I'm just very jealous that they get those like swiveling chairs that look so comfortable to sit in, as opposed to these chairs that my ass is getting concave just from sitting on this fucking. The cushion doesn't exist anymore. Like the cushion is metal at this point now. Sorry to distract, but
I mean, someone.
That's
Please
all I could
sponsor
think
us
of.
So that we can get better swivel chairs. They're more
so that we can get better chairs. Period, man.
But what did you think about that clip? Would that have made you intrigued to watch a full episode?
It seemed a little cringy. Like especially when he went into the whole weird voice doing the Michael, like that seemed a little cringy to me.
The things about it that felt awkward and weird of it for me was that I did not. Now I have never watched a whole show of Baby This Keke Palmer, but I've seen a lot of clips. And just seeing how Keke Palmer usually is in interviews, whether she's interviewing someone else or she's being interviewed. I just didn't feel like she genuinely wanted to be there. It seemed like it was just like, okay.
You think so?
Because
she seemed like she was.
I feel like she was acting.
All things considered, not just doing a play on words or anything like that, but she seemed like she was kikiing it up.
I think she was acting in that way. Like even some of the ways that she was responding, it felt like
it didn't seem genuine.
It didn't seem necessarily genuine. Like, okay.
What about it didn't seem genuine? If you don't mind me asking.
I feel like her laugh fell flat. I feel like it's not anything in particular where I could be like, oh, she's.
It was like a je ne sais quoi kind of thing.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like she was good. It was the energy that she had in it. I feel like she felt awkward. Now, I could understand why she could feel awkward because you, as someone who has survived domestic violence and have been such an outspoken person about it, I'm already surprised and shocked that you even have this person on your show. And if he was on your show, to not like when she asked him about the question of owning your past or like rewriting the future or whatever. And then he was like owning the past and she was like, well, why? And then instead of him, that she didn't really push into it of like, okay, because that could have been a point where it's like, is it because of like whatever? Even if you didn't go and say explicitly, like, because of things have happened, like, recently you've had some issues, like, how would you rewrite that or whatever? It just kind of went to this weird conversation about time, which I'm like, what? Like, and then what pissed me off about that? Him asking my past or just the world. I was like, who the fuck? I'm interviewing you. It's you. Why would I be asking you about random history facts? Like, that to me just like was dumb. But I digress. Either way, I feel like I'm glad they removed the episode. I don't think he needs any more platforms to discuss things. One, because I don't feel like in any of the platforms he's been on that he has actually taken or said anything outside of like he's going to therapy and doing the work, or he's actually like taken accountability and made a sincere apology about what has happened or things that people have brought up about his behaviors in the past. So that's number one. And two, I really feel like he is using Black women, which I have felt like ever since he got Megan Good on his arm, is he is using Black women as a buffer against him and having a complete and utter rock bottom. And he will use us, whether it's marrying Megan Good, going on Sherry Shepherd, going on Keke Palmer, whatever else, to get back in Hollywood's good graces, because he knows that there are many Black women in the community who will try and cape for a Black man no matter what, especially the older generations. And unfortunately, as we can see, even millennials and the younger ones, they will want to cap for Black men regardless. I am not one of those women to cap for you because you are a Black man, because if you have not shown and proved that you have clear accountability and atonement for your actions, there is nothing for me to cape for. Like, say something meaningful and then I can give you that grace and understanding. But I'm not here for Black women being used as a way for you to prop yourself up and get back to where you want to be. Because if you get there, what's going to happen then? Are you still going to be going on all these Black women's TV shows to talk to them? Or are you going to be otherwise trying to pander to us about how great we are or whatever bullshit? So I'm glad it was gone. And there were so many other people she could interview. She had Cash Doll, who Cash Doll is great. Love her. More of that. I just hope that Keke has also learned a lesson from this, whether it's like, did you want this person on, or was it something that whoever the managers or someone was like, we need to have him on? But you know what? Hold your ground and say no, because I cannot imagine someone being a domestic abuse survivor having someone on their show who has just recently, it's not like 10 years back, just recently had this whole situation, and now you can sit there and kiki it up. Like, me personally, as someone who has experienced various types of abuse, I could not be sitting next to someone and be able to, on my own show, and be able to talk to them like a normal person and not feel some type of way about that.
Right.
So, here we are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She changed it up and good for her, because she didn't need to have any other negative spins or whatever around her name. She's already had to deal with enough things. So please learn from this, do better, and get more people on your show that people actually want to listen to and pay attention to. I don't want to hear him talking about his vibes and whatever astrophysics bullshit she wants to talk about.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about do you want to do the real quick things that made us angry? Do we have enough time for that?
I think we do, actually. I think we have time for the things that made us happy and angry. So where you want to start? Okay, here we go. Let's end. That was the end of Pop Topics. So now we're gonna move into the things that made us big, mad, and annoyed.
Bring it. What? We gripe here. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe here. This is a space for us to share. We gripe here. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe here.
So what's making you big, mad, and annoyed?
Uber drivers. I understand that Uber drivers live an interesting life. But you gotta know that if you have I know that you want your car to smell nice, but blasting fucking air wicks in the car at high volumes is not the way to go. That shit is strong as hell. It is pungent. It is almost a solid. That's how the smell is. And it was this past weekend.
It was a very thick.
It was very thick.
It was a thick layer.
Thick smells.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Because that was just too much. It was just too much. And then also, Uber drivers. I'm not here to police how you dress. But as somebody who just wants to be left alone and not have to talk to an Uber driver, don't dress up in some very unique and very distinct costume. Because now, like, you're forcing me to either break my rule of not talking to the Uber driver, or I'm left to sit in the car and wonder, where the fuck are you going? Where did you come from? Why are you dressed up? What is this outfit? This dude this past weekend had a fucking cowboy hat on and shit. Like, he had a very distinct outfit, and the entire time I wanted to ask, like, why are you dressed up this way? Like, why are you this way? But of course, that goes against my rule of talking to Uber drivers. I do not do that. I do not want to talk to you. If I get into your car, I'm paying you good money to get me from point A to point B. Please leave me alone. I do not want to have a conversation with you. And don't make me want to have a conversation with you by dressing up. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. All right. And that, I think, and also, if you're gonna, how do I say this? I would also say that I'll keep that to myself. I'll keep that to myself.
Tell me after.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Because now I'm curious.
I'll keep it to myself. But that's everything that's making me mad. How about you?
For me, okay, number one, full disclosure, which is probably something I don't know if we've talked about on this podcast before. I have a dog. I've had a dog for several years now. And I have been trying to rehome my dog for several years, with various ups and downs and all this stuff. A few years ago, I reached out to my Facebook group, again for help. The first, I had reached out to them prior, but people were not being helpful at all. And so again, I reached out for help. Someone contacted me and they were like, I'm going to help. And in some ways they have been very helpful. In some ways they have not. In a lot of ways, actually, they have not, because they have been rude and disrespectful. And I just feel like, one, if you are going to offer somebody help, you are offering that help because you want to help, not because you think that you should now be able to control that person and what they are doing and what they are not doing. And that if you get crunk and try to get Buck on the phone with me, you should never in your life expect that I am going to sit there and take it.
And just take it.
And if I have, that is because of the large amounts of grace and patience that I can have at times.
Which is more than I have.
It is.
I have patience and grace for certain people. Mm-hmm. I extend that to certain people. Mm-hmm. And with other people, they get no grace. They get no sympathy. They get no patience.
Well,
they
the
get
thing
no
is,
love.
I recognize
I don't love them.
That there are plenty of people, whether I know them, whether I know they are family members, friends, strangers on the street, that I recognize when people have certain personalities, certain neuroses and mental health things going on. So that is what allows me to be able to have grace and understanding, because I've dealt with those type of people before. I recognize I recognize generally that they're not necessarily aware of what they're doing. So I'm not. I am able to step back and just like allow you to do your thing. But eventually, it just has to be enough is enough. And so if I tell you that you are being disrespectful and you continue to have the conversation, do not expect that I'm going to continue that conversation. I'm going to tell you, okay, well, I'm hanging up because I don't think you should hang up on people. I think hanging up on people is actually very rude.
Mm-hmm.
But if I tell you, okay, well, I'm actually going to have to go now and I hang up, don't call me back. Now you're calling me back and now you feel like you're harassing me and I'm screening my calls. You're calling me on blocked numbers. Like
They called you on blocked numbers?
I believe so, because who else is calling me on a blocked number? You're harassing me. You're telling me like you're lying. The main thing is you're lying about me because I've had a conversation with people and I know that you're lying, which is already like, don't lie about me. That's one thing that'll really fucking grind my gears is if I know that someone is lying about me, because like, what the fuck? There's enough things that I know that I do that like you wouldn't have to lie about. Like I know who I am. So that's really it. Like, just if you're gonna help someone, help them. Don't try to be a fucking white savior. This is not The Blind Side. You don't have to try and like push your agendas on people and be rude and nasty and condescending. Just like help. And if you don't want to help anymore, then don't do it. It's not that
fuck
hard.
off.
Like, that's it. So yeah, that's the things that make me annoyed.
Okay, then. So let's go in for the things that are making us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant, tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
All right. Well, to kick things off, I want to say a huge, great, big thank you to the Sex Obviously podcast for having us on your episode this week. You guys are so great. You're the people who did like the second half of the episode, the next episode after us. Y'all were great. Everyone was so fun and just like open and chatty, etc. So that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking about sex.
Yeah. Thank you to my friend Mulaney.
Come on,
Sorry.
man.
Obviously, my bad. Sorry. Do it again.
I love talking about sex.
Obviously.
So anytime I can get, what are you doing in the camera?
Keep going.
I love talking about sex.
Obviously.
And getting a chance to talk about the different various like travel experiences that I've had. So being able to merge those things together is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that you love the episode. I hope that we can come back on. Everybody, please like, share, and subscribe to Sex Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And tune in because they were super cool.
Yeah. And special thanks to my friend Mulaney who hosted us.
Thank you to Mulaney and her husband for allowing us into their beautiful home.
Yes.
To record. You guys are great. And the other things that are making me happy. Well, you're making me happy.
Oh.
Doing this podcast with you is making me happy.
Same here, partner.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to a big weekend of fun shenanigans because it's your birthday this week.
Yes, we're about to have a lot of fun, and it's WrestleMania this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to two things this weekend.
And I'm off this week, so that's making me happy.
And I'm off Sunday.
Well, I'm kind of happy. It's a mixed bag because I'm off, but then I don't get paid. So.
Oh yeah, there's that.
That's that part. But
yeah,
I am off and able to like do other things. So.
Yeah. Well.
What about you?
Doing this podcast with you, doing the Sex Obviously podcast was a lot of fun. And weirdly enough, being under the weather and not having to work on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
because even though I was not feeling well, I just got to rest, and it's very rare that I get to rest on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
one last thing, shout out to LeVar Burton, because he is going to be the keynote speaker at the Howard University commencement this year. Shout out to him. I know that's going to be amazing. If anyone can do a beautiful, inspiring and encouraging commencement speech, it's gonna be a LeVar Burton. So
LeVar ball so hard Burton. Sorry. LeVar ball so hard Burton is
Read
what I
so
was trying to
hard.
say.
Read so hard.
Read so hard. Motherfuckers want to find
Learn
me.
so hard.
First, you got to find me.
First, you gotta learn how to read.
Learn how to read in a library. Please remind me. LeVar so hard.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening in.
Yes. Thank you again.
Watching us, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter.
Please don't forget to like, share, and
Instagram.
subscribe. We
comment,
send us some stuff. We like to hear from you.
Send us things you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Send us money.
Send us anything at this point. I'll take anything. I'll take anything. Oh, and sorry, because we're happy. With that being said, if that's everything, then that's everything. Want to say take it easy, keep it sleazy. We'll be back next time, but until then, bye. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's ThatsOD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember,
bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.